Hello, and welcome to the second video in Pureport's Multi-Cloud in Minutes video series. My name is Johnson Coffin, and I lead the Solutions Engineering Group for Pureport. In the first video, I used the Pureport Multicloud Fabric to privately connect my AWS VPC and my Azure vNet via Direct Connect and Express Route, using Pureport's distributed multi-cloud router as the connection broker in between. In this video, I'll continue building out my network by privately connecting the two existing cloud environments to a Google Cloud VPC using Google's Cloud Interconnect. Opening up the network we created in Part 1, we see the two connections we established into AWS US East and Azure East US. So jumping over to the AWS console, we can see that here the routing table for the VPC includes a local route for the subnet assigned to this VPC, and it also includes the route for my Azure vNet, learned from the virtual private gateway, and in turn the Direct Connect gateway, and of course in turn the Pureport Multicloud router. Next, we'll take a quick look at the routing table on the Azure side. So opening up that routing table, here we see the routes for the local network assigned to my Azure vNet, in addition to the route for the AWS VPC, again learned through the virtual network gateway, and in turn the Pureport Multicloud router. So that's what we've built out in the first video. Now let's add a Google VPC to the mix. First, we'll move over to the GCP console. Similar to the Azure ExpressRoute workflow, we'll create the interconnects first on the GCP side and then use pairing keys to connect to them from the Pureport side. So we'll scroll down the menu to the network section, then select hybrid connectivity and then interconnect. If this is your first interconnect circuit, you may see a welcome screen here since I already have several interconnects built out. What loads is a list of those VLAN attachments. To create the circuit, we'll click Add VLAN Attachment, choose Partner Interconnect as the type, then click I already have a partner, Pureport in this case, and now we'll select the VPC that we want to attach to, select the Google Cloud region. We will create a new cloud router for each of the VLAN attachments, give those a quick name, then name the VLAN attachment itself, and repeat those steps for the secondary connection. Creating a cloud router, and naming the VLAN itself. We'll go ahead and click Create. And the next thing we want to do is pre-activate those VLANs, which will allow the Pureport platform to automatically complete all of the remaining steps necessary to fully configure and stand up BGP peering without any further intervention on the user's part. So next we'll open up the first connection and grab the pairing key. We'll need that to paste into the Pureport console. We'll go ahead and back out and open up that second connection and have it there waiting when we're ready. Jump over to the Pureport console, click Add Connection. Select Google Cloud Interconnect as the connection type. Select our Google Cloud region, which is going to be US East 4. Select the Pureport DC location. Again, select a speed. We're going to paste in the first of those pairing keys. I'm going to jump back over to the Google console to grab the second one. Paste in that second key. Click Next. We'll skip over networks and NAT configuration. Again, we'll cover those in a later video. Give the connection a quick name and click Add Connection. At this point, the Pureport platform reaches out to the GCP API and uses those two pairing keys to identify the desired circuits. You'll notice this API call takes a little longer than with the other clouds. That's because we're also negotiating the IP addresses and other network primitives so that both Pureport and Google will be pre-configured with the BGP information when the time comes for peering. Jumping over to the GCP console, we can see those IP addresses being provisioned there, and the two redundant VLAN attachments moving through the waiting status to the down status And once the two routing gateways are deployed on the Pureport side, they will move into an up status to indicate that BGP peering is fully up. Once the secondary VLAN attachment has the IP address assigned, we'll know that API call is complete. So moving back to the Pureport side, we see that the two routing gateways are being deployed and will be peered on a full mesh with the other gateways we've deployed for AWS and Azure connectivity. All of these gateways together are collectively what we call the Pureport Multicloud Router. Any subsequent connections we add to the network, regardless of which Pureport location we choose, will also be added to the network in a full mesh topology, enabling any-to-any connectivity with no hairpinning. So here we can see that BGP has come up on that first gateway. The secondary gateway is being deployed. As soon as it comes online, peering should come up within just a few seconds. Jumping back to the GCP console, we'll do a quick refresh. We'll see that both those VLAN attachments show a state of up, which means peering is completely established on both connections. So now let's take a look at the routing table for my VPC. On the menu, we'll scroll down to networking, select VPC network, and then routes. From there, we will filter down to just the dynamic routes, and then do a name filter to only show the routes that are associated with this VPC. So here we'll see routes for both my AWS network and for my Azure network that have been learned through the Pureport Multicloud Router. You'll notice that there are a pair of routes for each in the Google routing table. Each of the cloud providers does things a little bit differently. Google here shows the separate routes for each of those two separate Google Cloud routers. But regardless of how the cloud providers are displaying things, all of these connections are built out in a full HA configuration, meaning that the routing gateways on the Pureport side are deployed across separate pieces of hardware and across discrete network paths. We'll jump over to the Azure side real quickly, show the routing table there, and we can see that the Google route has appeared as part of that routing table. Now we'll jump back over to my AWS VPC. We'll do a quick refresh of that routing table, and there we see the Google VPC subnet as part of that routing table on the AWS side. And finally, back in the Pureport console, we'll refresh the routing tables for the gateways connecting to GCP. And here on the primary gateway, we now show the Google route pointing to the peer IP address for the Google Cloud router, and the routes for both my Azure and my AWS subnets appear and are appropriately labeled to show the connection they originated from. Well, thank you for watching. I hope we've shown how fast and easy it is to use Pureport's multi-cloud fabric to establish direct private connectivity to multiple cloud environments. In part 3, we'll connect this network back to customer premises via IPsec VPN using BGP as a routing mechanism for a dynamic, fully meshed network between customer premises and these 3 cloud environments. Be sure to check out our other videos on YouTube, and please be sure to visit www.pureport.com, where you can register online to give us a try today.